Sunday, folks. It's Blair Benoit here at the 2015 Long Beach Jazz Festival, and Mara Hruby just came off of stage after a beautiful, ethereal performance. Welcome to Long Beach, Mara.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
We're so excited to have you here. Tell us a little bit about what it was like to perform at the Long Beach Jazz Festival for the first time.
It was great. It was very breezy. I had a nice gust of wind consistently on stage, which was keeping me cool because the smart person I am, I wore all black. No, it was wonderful. The crowd is so receptive. They're so kind. I couldn't have asked for more for my first time here.
Well, we're so thrilled to have you here. I know that previously you've performed in a lot of more intimate settings. Tell me about the difference between connecting with the crowd on a stage like at the Long Beach Jazz Festival versus in a more intimate setting like at the Virgil.
It's interesting because when you play a more intimate setting, you feed off of people's energy more directly because it's right there in front of you, and it's a quicker exchange, I should say, of just emotion and appreciation, and it's not just them, and I'm appreciating them taking the time to be there. So it's not as easy to get that direct feeling when you're on a big stage with a big crowd, but I can see so many people. I mean, the sun is shining and there's people enjoying themselves and dancing and just having a really good time, and I can still see that and feel that, and it makes me have fun on stage. So it's different, but there's still comparisons that are very similar.
That's beautiful. And you have such an interesting style, both aesthetically and musically. And I would like to talk a little bit about some of your influences. I know D'Angelo, Al Green, the likes of those artists. Can you tell me a little bit more about how you became inspired artistically?
Surely. My family, they're not a musical family per se as far as playing instruments or singing themselves, but they are serious, heavy consumers of music. They love music, and everyone in my family has a very particular style and taste in who they like. So my godmom, who's from Meridian, Mississippi, she loves Al Green and Brooke Benton. So them two, I grew up listening to as long as I can remember. I mean, I remember being 3, like singing along to Kiddio or something like, But my mother was very into Joni Mitchell and Hall & Oates and Simon and Garfunkel, and she really liked Basha too. My sister was very into 9 Inch Nails, and I mean, she liked a lot of alternative prog rock, and she taught me a lot about music as well. Kurt Cobain, of course, and my dad was really into jazz. So I mean, Coltrane, Count Basie, Billie Holiday. He loves, oh goodness, I'm drawing a blank on his name, Cannonball Adderley. Like, he's just very into jazz, and they all taught me what they knew about music, and I was able to kind of pick and pull as well as discover what I liked musically, and it all inspired me because all of those different styles of music made me feel something very deeply and very heavily that I enjoyed so much, and it was a dream of mine that I didn't think could be a reality, to take a stab at doing music myself and just put my heart into the music and hope and pray that it would touch people the same way that all the music I love touched me. So,
and tell me a little bit about, have you ever had a fan come up to you or express to you how much you've touched them and how much they've resonated with your music, or how much your music has helped them, or how much your rendition of the cover they listen to on YouTube every single day, or things like that?
You're saying exactly what happens. I mean, I've had fans come up to me after shows crying. I mean, the recent project I did, Archaic Rapture, was a heartbreak EP of jazz standards. And after I released it and I was performing those songs at shows, I had women and some men that got really emotional and came up to me and just said, that project really helped me through my heartbreak. It was so nice to know that I felt encouraged musically to just express the sadness and the sorrow I was feeling and know that it was okay. So things like that, I mean, I never take it lightly when a fan comes up to me crying with how much what I've done is touch them, because you just never know. You never know, living your day-to-day life. But when people take the time to tell you those things, it's golden. I've never felt anything like that before, and I try and be as receptive and open as possible. I mean, there's of course like the typical, oh, I found you on YouTube, I love playing your, I don't have it, how do I get it? And I tell them how to, you know, find my music online. And it's just such a blessing though. So many people leave themselves so open to come up to me and express how my music makes them feel, and that's all I've ever wanted. It's really cool.
That's beautiful. I can imagine. That's beautiful. Also, I want to touch a little bit on kind of how you would describe yourself. I mean, obviously, you have these great influences, like you said, from your family's musical interests, jazz, soul, you know, rock, alternative, and then also I know that you partnered with Big Crit before, and that's more like rap and hip hop. So tell me a little bit about how would Mara Hruby describe herself?
That's a really good question, because I think I'm still learning myself. So I can't describe my future self, and I could probably, like, I'd say 80% describe my present self, because I'm still, like I said, learning. But I'm a very open person. I'm a very sensitive person, and I'm a very expressive person. And all of those things help me creatively to write music, to draw. I really love drawing. I don't know if a lot of people know, my day job before I did music full time was I did the artwork at Trader Joe's for 5 years. So I love anything creative, and I'm really learning to understand and accept that expectations can be very negative if you hold them up too high. To just go with the flow, be yourself, accept others for who they are. Now, mind you, it's very challenging to do, but that's what I try and go by the most, is to just understand that whatever people are individually capable of doing is what you should try hardest to just purely accept. And that's what I'm working on. So my present self is just accepting myself as well as other people for who they are.
That's perfect. And last question, you're so creative. I want to touch on some of the other elements of your creativity outside of your music. I know you are an amazing chef as well. You also make jewelry. I think that fans can actually get some of your items here at the Jazz Festival. So can you touch a little bit on that?
Sure. Quick anecdote. If it wasn't for me wanting to go into music head first, I would have gone into the culinary industry. I was seriously looking at culinary schools, and I was weighing it out like, well, my parents want me to go to college, so what could I go to college for? Oh, I love cooking. That made the most sense. But ultimately, what made my heart the most happiest is music, but I still haven't stopped my other mediums of creativity. So I make homemade jam, and I sell seasonal flavors. So depending on what's available per season is the flavors that I make. And I have them all available at my shows. I have them available online. I have a Big Cartel page. If you just go on my website, which is marahruby.com, you could click on the merch tab or the store tab, and all my jams are there. I make beaded bracelets. These are some of them. But I just, through my travels, I go to different bead shops and find things that just kind of speak to me. Like I said, I'm very emotional and sensitive, and I go with the flow. So a lot of these creative endeavors, I make dream catchers too. I haven't made them available online, but I make them for my close family and friends, and I'm trying to produce enough to have available at a show, because they go very quickly, and it's really tedious for me to make because I do so much detail. But gosh, what else? I knit. I sew. I'm working on a cookbook. So I'm working on a cookbook. It's going to be called Cook by Feel. And that's the issue, is that I cook by feel, so I'm in the process of getting all the proper ingredients and measurements, because I just, dash a little this and throw in a little that. So yeah, those are kind of all the creative things I have going on. And I love vintage fashion. It's been a passion of mine since 2000. Well, it's been a passion of mine since before then, but 2006 I really dove in and began dressing that way for myself, because I felt the most confident in my own skin that way. The clothing fits well because it goes by your measurements. It's not a size on a hanger, it's for your body type, which I appreciate. It's for all body types. So I style myself for everything that I do,
and you do it beautifully.
Thank you so, so much. I mean, I'm really passionate about everything I do, and I'm so grateful that music is that gateway for me to just express all of what I love.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Mara. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you.
Thank you. It's my joy. Truly, it's my joy.